Hi, people of God. If you can see me, God bless you. So let's talk about self-love or self-assuredness versus pride. We'll look at the root difference at the source, the direction, and the heart posture. Why people may misconstrue self-assuredness for pride. The ultimate biblical example of self-assuredness and how to decipher self-assuredness from pride. So what's the root difference for pride? That is the source, the direction, and the heart posture. So the source, they see themselves as God. So that's the root, that's the source of pride. It's a God complex. So what's the direction? They exalt themselves above God and others. The heart posture, I'm enough because of me. I am the best thing coming and going. But what does the Bible say about that? Proverbs 16 verse 18 says, pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Pride is independence from God. It rejects correction. It rejects humility. It resists truth. And it seeks exaltation. It seeks elevation. It seeks validation. To self-love or self-assuredness, at the source is an identity rooted in God. The direction is alignment. You want to be in alignment with God. You want to obey Him. You don't look for elevation, validation like pride would. And your heart posture is, I know who I am because of God. So your identity is rooted in Him. Love your neighbor as yourself. So you must love yourself. And it's not the narcissistic type of self-love we're speaking of. It's a healthy regard for yourself. God never commanded us to self-abandon or to hate yourself. If I'm supposed to love somebody else, I must first love myself because I can't give what I don't have. So why do people call it pride when you're self-assured? So when you cut people off quickly, either for disrespect, either for you seeing through them, either for them being energy vampires, users, abusers, they'll call you prideful. They'll smear you. That'll be one of the things they would mention in your smear campaign. When you discern people who have wicked intentions, who are mean-spirited, they'll call you prideful. When you move away from draining environments, they'll call you prideful. She thinks she's better than us. No, she just saw through you. They just saw through you. You're not a good person. No matter how much you use pseudo kindness and how much you manipulate the situation and you're trying to control everything, it's obvious. So it's not pride. It's wisdom. It's stewardship. The Word of God says in Proverbs 4 verse 23, you guard your heart, for everything that you do flows from it. So why would I be around somebody who's trying to diminish my self-worth, who's trying to plant doubt inside of me, who doesn't mean well for me? And you are commanded to protect your inner life. The Word of God says you need to do that. Do not be misled. Bad company corrupts good manners. So your quickness to remove them will be perceived as arrogance, as pride. But it's wisdom. It's quality, refined discernment. So who's the best biblical example of a self-assured person who embodied self-love and self-assuredness? The perfect balance? It's Jesus Christ. He knew exactly who he was. He set boundaries constantly. He walked away from people. He did not perform for acceptance. The Word of God says that Jesus Christ would not entrust himself to people because he knew all people. So no matter how much you come with the kindest and your best disdain smile, but your heart is so wicked towards him, he'd see it. It's the same way a lot of us can do that too. Your silent saboteur, we know. It's discernment with boundaries. It gives you that self-assuredness. It gives you that self-love. Because you know who you are. So you won't tolerate what is less than. Jesus withdrew from crowds always. He didn't need validation. If Jesus lived today, many would call him prideful. Why? because he's distant, he was selective, he was intense, so they say that he's too intense. He was hard to access, but he was none of those things. He was aligned. A lot of people would misconstrue humility as self-rejection or self-abandonment. I don't even know how you guys come up with that, but they confuse it with shrinking yourself, tolerating disrespect, over-explaining yourself, staying where you're not valued. But biblical humility does not do that. It's right alignment with God, not self-erasure. You don't think of yourself highly than the next person. That's it. But notice it does not say think lowly of yourself. It doesn't say deny your worth. It just says don't exaggerate yourself beyond truth. And that's what true humility is. So how do you decipher or distinguish a self-assured person to a prideful person? So we use the fruit test, the Jesus standard, as it says in the Word of God in Matthew 7 verse 16. By their fruits you shall know them. So if it produces peace, clarity, righteous boundaries, alignment with truth, that's healthy self-love rooted in God. If it produces arrogance, isolation rooted in superiority, contempt for others, resistance to correction, a need to exalt oneself above others, a need for validation, for elevation, that's pride. Therefore, you are God's workmanship. You didn't create yourself. So rejecting mistreatment, walking away from people who misuse you or abuse you, and honoring your design is not pride. It's agreement with God. And the truth is, so people don't have a problem with your pride, which is actually self-love and self-assuredness. What they have a problem with is your clarity, your boundaries, your little cut-out game, your non-negotiables. Because this means they can no longer access you casually.